Welcome back, I'm Kyle with Prolux, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys a complete overview of our commercial wide area vacuum. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and cut the straps and then we'll take the top cover off. Alright, now that we have the straps cut and the top lid off, you're going to have this note that says do not lift the handle, and that means do not lift the unit out of the box using the handle. But more than likely you can just grab the sides, take it off like that, and then you're going to have the instruction manual. Everything I'm covering can be found in here. All right, now that we have the unit out of the packaging, let's go ahead and remove it from the pallet. Just slowly roll it off. Alright, so we got the unit unboxed. We're going to go over setup and assembly. This unit doesn't have much to set up or assemble since it's one intact unit. The only thing you really need to do is just plug in the cord when you're ready to use it, and then go ahead and lift the handle up and lock it into position, which I'll show you how to do that now. Pretty much just grab it, lift it to where it's comfortable for you. And you're gonna have this latch on the side. And go ahead and just latch it down. And that's it for setup and assembly. Just like the unboxing process, very straightforward. Remove it off the pallet, lift the handle up and lock it in using the latch. All right, so let's quickly go over some specs of this unit. The cord length is 75 feet, so plenty of length for cleaning large areas. The bag capacity on this unit is 9.2 gallons, and it is a reusable bag. You also have a air filter on top of the dual motors. I will show you guys how to replace the bag and the filter when we get into maintenance and troubleshooting. The width of the front of the unit, or the brush width, is going to be 26 inches. Power wise for the motors, you're going to have 2,150 watts and the brush motor is 0.5 horsepower. CFM wise, you're looking at 146, so plenty of CFM. The noise this unit makes is going to be about 75 decibels, which is what an average household vacuum makes. And then the weight of this giant wide area vacuum is 198 pounds. Going over some of the features, we're looking at the back of the unit, and you have some indicator lights and some buttons, so let's go over those real quick. This first one is going to be the indicator light, and this will let you know when the dust bag is full. This switch right here is going to be the brush motor switch. So if you turn this on when it's plugged in, it would kick on the brushes, and this is going to be a dual brush wide area vacuum. Third button is going to be for the vacuum motor. So this is going to be your suction button. Then you have a couple overload protection buttons right here. First one is going to be the brush motor circuit breaker. Then you have a vacuum motor circuit breaker for each motor. And since this is a dual motor brush vacuum, you're gonna have two circuit breakers, one for each vacuum motor. All right, so I got the vacuum lifted up so we can see the bottom side of it. I wanna point out a few things just so you guys are aware and are more informed on this vacuum. Starting off up here, this is going to be the front brush roll, and this is going to be the rear brush roll. If you spin them, you're going to notice a yellow bristle. That is going to be a bristle wear indicator. So if the black bristles get down to yellow one, and you notice it's not picking anything up, it's time to replace the brush rolls. And then the rear one will also have another bristle indicator, but it's going to be blue this time. Down here, you have the exhaust cover. And then you're going to have the brush motor cover. This unit comes with 4 wheels total, so you have 2 underneath the unit and then 2 larger ones near the back of the unit. And then if we're looking at the brush roll assembly right here, there's going to be a belt drive assembly cover right there. And then this whole opening right here is going to be the brush head assembly. All right, now we're going to look at the top of the vacuum and go over some different areas of it, just like we did on the underside. So like I mentioned, you have the handle right here. You have the handle adjustment lever, so this can lock it into different handle positions, whatever is more comfortable for you. You have the hose cover if you guys decide to buy the optional toolkit. And then you have the front lid. If you lift this up, you gain access to the bag and the filter. All right, so we got the unit plugged in. I do not recommend plugging the 75-foot cord into any extension cords, as that will trip a circuit breaker. So unless it's like a really thick gauge extension cord, we advise not to do that. So now that we got it plugged in, I got the handle adjusted to a height that's comfortable for me. And before you use this thing, make sure you pick up any larger debris items such as cups, cans, buckets, large pieces of paper. Go ahead and pick those up and remove them. But other than that, let's go ahead and turn it on. So again, you have 2 buttons, one for the brushes and one for the vacuum motor. I'm going to turn them on separately so you guys can hear it, and then I'll just turn both of them on and then give you guys a quick demo of it. So here's going to be the brushes. And here's the vacuum motor. We're going to turn both of them on now. So we're in one of our warehouses, so we got a bunch of dust and wood chips, so we're going to use a CP360 and clean it up. Alright, as you saw, I cleaned up all that dust and wood chips. It's just a very large vacuum. It's really not that hard to use. And with those dual casters on the underside and the middle, you can quickly maneuver this thing in any direction. It's very easy to use as well. So that was the demonstration. I want to quickly go over some maintenance and troubleshooting. There's only really 2 things you need to check and replace. That's going to be the bag and the filter. But let's get into it real quick. So lift up the dust cover right here. And I didn't fully secure that bag on, so I got dust and dirt everywhere. But anyways, bag, pull the bag off. We recommend emptying this daily. There are disposable bags that you can leave in till full. But if you're going to be using this thing every day, I suggest just emptying it before every use. And then you have a air filter on top of the motors. Oh man, I got dirt everywhere. Here is the filter. We recommend checking this every 3 months, depending on how often you guys are using this machine. But every 3 months, check and replace the filter. And to remove it, slide it off. To replace it, it can only go in one way. Line it up and push it on. The bag, make sure you fully secure the bag. I thought I did, but I didn't, and I got a bunch of stuff all over the motor compartment. But to remove the bag, you simply grab it and pull it off. And then to reinstall the bag, there is this giant black hose port right here. Just make sure the bag fully secures to it. So here is a hose port. There's going to be a lip that goes all the way around it. Make sure the bag goes past that lip. Because if you don't fully secure it, you get stuff all over the motor compartment like I did. So that's my fault. Don't be like me. Kind of once you get one side on, you can just fully push the rest of it on. Just like that. Maintenance wise for the brush rolls, we recommend just checking them prior to use. Make sure there's nothing tangled up in them, and then make sure you guys are mindful of that bristle wear indicator. If you guys want to know how to replace the brush rolls, there will be a separate, more in-depth video. It's not complicated, it just takes a little bit of time, and I don't want this video to be too long, but I will have an additional video up for that in case you guys ever need to replace the brush rolls. Alright, and the last thing is going to be troubleshooting. Like I mentioned earlier, this is just a very large vacuum, and pretty much with all my other videos when it comes to troubleshooting, there's only a handful of things you guys need to check. First off, if the unit is not turning on, make sure the cord is fully secured to this pigtail. It's a plug, 3-prong plug, so just make sure it is fully plugged in. And then make sure this screw nut is fully tightened. That's the first thing to check, and then also check your outlets and make sure that the unit is fully plugged into an outlet. And then double check the circuit breakers. If one of them is glowing red, you need to reset it. So that's pretty much it for if the unit does not turn on. If you have no suction, you need to check 3 things. You need to check the dust bag, make sure it's not completely full. If it is full, it's going to restrict the motor's suction. And then check that filter. If that filter is filthy, either blow it off, wash it, or buy a replacement. And then you can always test the suction directly from the hose port right here. And then again, lift the vacuum up so you can see the brush rolls and just make sure there's nothing large blocking or restricting the airflow. And then to put it into its storage position, all you need to do is lower the handle completely. Actually, first you need to wrap the cord up. Then when you guys are done using the machine, you're going to want to store it in a safe, dry location. And there's only really 2 things you need to do for storage. First thing is go ahead and wrap the 75-foot cord around the handle. Alright, so we got the cord all wrapped up, and then you're going to want to lower the handle completely. So undo that latch, drop it, lock the handle, and then you can store it in the down position, or you can store it in upright position. Before I end the video, there's one thing I do want to make clear to you guys. Make sure both the brush roll and the vacuum motor buttons are on. If you guys forget to turn either of those on, your vacuum's not going to pick anything up. So I'm sure there's going to be some issues with that, so make sure both of them are on when you go to use it. But like you guys saw and heard, this is a pretty basic commercial vacuum. Not really much to unbox or set up or assemble to get started. To use it, all you need to do is plug it in, turn those 2 switches on, and go on your way. And then if you guys don't have any power, make sure it's plugged in, make sure the pigtail is connected securely, and then make sure none of these circuit breakers are tripped. And the only things you guys really need to check and replace: the dust bag, the filter, and then check the brush rolls, make sure there's nothing clogged or lodged in there to prevent them from moving. And then I will have a separate video up on how to replace the brush rolls. I hope this video was informative. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you can email us at service@proluxcleaners.com, or you can leave a comment down in the comment section below. I'm Kyle Prolux, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.